The presidency is ascribing credit to itself on the conduct of last month's presidential and National Assembly elections, which it claims to be a substantial improvement on previous elections. In a statement, presidential spokesperson Garba Shehu says credit should be given to the government for a successful election seen by local and international observers who said the election was widespread without voting irregularities, or rather that it was,
peaceful, largely peaceful.
Peaceful, yeah. The two main opposition candidates, Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, are challenging the results in court. They have alleged irregularities, especially in the result collation and announcement processes.
Well, let's bring in presidential spokesperson Garba Shehu for more on this. Thank you, Mr. Shehu, for finding time to join us on the news tonight. We do appreciate your appearance. Let's begin with that statement you released on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari. In what aspect would you say that this was an improvement to previous elections in Nigeria? And why is the federal government giving itself a pat on the back?
Well, thank you for giving us this opportunity and to say that you and I and most of our viewers know the character of elections we have had in the past. There are parts of this country that are well known for not even allowing voting to take place. They just sit down and fill in the result sheets, and then they return predetermined winners. So we have gone past the stage now. The VDAs have done a wonderful thing for the country. They have audited voters. There are no longer ghost voters, and that you must be there for you to vote. We have used science in a very effective way in order to sanitize election, and this is a major success for the country at this time.
Not everybody will readily agree with you that the science this time worked, which Nigerians clamored for technology for easy transmission of the results, because at the 11th hour, complaints were rife when the INEC server or IREV did not upload the presidential results, but rather uploaded the National Assembly results. How do you reconcile the importance of technology here? How would you reconcile that INEC was speak and spark here?
Well, let me say that nobody disputes the fact that the voting process was neat. And that, yes, there were glitches with the technological electronic transmission of the results. And this shouldn't surprise anyone. The Minister of Communications Technology did a paper in the last 2 or so days, and he said about 16 million attempts were made to hack into the server. It shouldn't surprise anyone. And I'm sorry to say, without meaning to be derogatory of our fellow countrymen, we know what is happening with many Nigerians, whether it is to do with the theft of, insurance money. Nigerians, sadly, a section of our population has taken specialization to very great heights, dealing with the social security in a number of countries and all of that. And these things come back to us, and they blemish the country. So if some of our unpatriotic citizens will export this to distant places, and there's a chance for them to try their own trade at home, wouldn't they do it? So I don't think it should have surprised anyone that they made these huge attempts. Minister said 5 million times on the day of election to hack into this thing. So they sabotaged it. But we are assured that with the governorship election and the House of Assembly coming over this weekend, we are hoping that the systems will seamlessly work. We hope it does, so that we'll perfect our own system.
Madam Garba, you were talking about hopes here when a huge sum of amount was, set aside for this electoral process. President Muhammadu Buhari has also promised Nigerians repeatedly that he wants to bequeath a legacy of transparent, fair and credible elections. But let me quote something you said in that statement you released. You said that the achievement of this election should not be overlooked. The next step is for the Election Commission to ensure transparency in collation. So would you agree with critics of this process that we've just had in the presidential aspect, that there was no transparency in collation by the statement you released? Does President Muhammadu Buhari agree that there's a fault with transparency in collation of results in Nigeria's elections?
The problem we had there was that the Electoral Commission escalated the bar. They raised expectations to a level where technology would ensure 100% transparency. But transparency to the requirements of the election has been made possible, because from the very moment the counting was complete and the party agents signed, election results had been pasted on the walls of every polling station. There cannot be better transparency than that. But Electoral Commission said, we will use technology to transmit as soon as. So when we said they needed to improve on that, the idea is let them go full circle. Let them now deploy the technology and ensure successful transmission. And that's it for transparency. But otherwise, all of the things that had happened, nothing has happened to question the credibility of these elections. These elections are a perfect presentation of what an election should be, and Nigerians should be proud of what we achieved.
Well, Malam Garba, again, even some of the international observers and Nigerians will not wholly agree with you. That's because they say the question simply is, the Electoral Act promised to transmit election results electronically. It didn't happen, which blighted the process. What do you have to say here?
Christian, I'm not a lawyer myself. You possibly are one. But from my own understanding, it is INEC, the Electoral Commission, that said we will, in any case, the law as read to us states clearly that the mode of transition will be at the discretion of INEC. So INEC could simply have said it's going to be a manual transmission and it will stand. But as I said, they on their own escalated public expectation and said they will do so electronically. And the electronic transmission was sabotaged. By who? Nigerians. So therefore, that has happened. And as I said earlier on, nothing has happened to discredit the outcome of the elections. And if anybody has the proof that anything had been tampered with, numbers or figures or whatever, they have the chance, they have their day in court. Let them go and prove that.
So would there be consequences, Malam Garba, because you have said more than once here that INEC set a high standard and under-delivered, because you said the expectations were high and they did not meet up to that. So would you agree with the opposition parties who query the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari for failing to meet a certain standard that was promised? And would there be consequences? What will President Muhammadu Buhari do about this? Is he planning to do anything?
Who is the opposition party? You're talking about, is it PDP that wrote results in government guest houses and read them as delivered? In fact, in 2003, the winner of today's presidential election, Bola Tinubu, had been published as a loser in Lagos State governorship election even before the results had been compiled. And in 2007, if you go to the records, you will see that the PDP Actually, the Electoral Commission under PDP surprised party agents by announcing results when about 7 states were still being expected. Chairman of the commission, as the chief returning officer, excused himself, left party agents in place, and went and faced the media and announced that a winner had emerged. So they don't have the credibility to even raise the kind of questions that they are presented. But because this is an election that has completely shattered PDP's grip of this country, and they are yet to recover from the shock. And we're not surprised that they are saying all of these things.
Well, Madam Garba Shehu, how ironic, life really is now, because I know in 2003, you were in the PDP as a presidential spokesman in the presidency to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. But today, you are on the other side. The governorship election is on Saturday, along with state houses of assembly election. Mr. President is still silent. Hopes are dampened in the country. How is he, going to manage the expectations of Nigerians again? At least these are more localized elections as governorship elections. What is Mr. President? What's his message to Nigerians?
No, I will answer your side attack before I come to that one, because I know you read your Bible as I read my Quran, and all these scriptures they tell you one thing, that if you're a bad man today, you can become a good man tomorrow. Nobody can take that away from you. So that settles your question. What is the president doing? You'll be amazed by some of the things he's been doing. Even this afternoon, he recorded a video message promoting the governorship candidate of the APC in Kano State. He's been doing a lot of these things. He's done.
We seem to be having some glitches from Malam Garba Shehu's internet connection there. That's the presidential spokesman, Malam Garba Shehu, speaking to us on some of the outcomes of the presidential elections and the expectations. He was just talking about...
it seems to have him back.
Okay. Malam, I think you can continue, please.
Yeah, I would say that the president has been messaging voters in contests that we think are critical for the All Progressives Congress. He has done so for Kano this afternoon. I said, Adamawa, we have the only female governorship contestant in the country. He's done it for Bauchi, he's done it for Kaduna, he has done for Nasarawa, and Anam.
Malam Garba Shehu. Okay. Malam Garba Shehu, are you still with us? Unfortunately, we seem to have lost connection once more. Hopefully we can reconnect. There's so much to discuss. I've been speaking with the presidential spokesperson to President Muhammad Buhari on the 2023 elections so far.
I think Malam Garba
do we have him back?
Yeah.
Great. Malam Garba Shehu, thank you so much. We do know that internet, has a mind of its own. But let me ask you, the APC, the party of the president, lost some states in the presidential elections, and some critics or some analysts as well have attributed that to the administration itself, what it has done for the people so far, what it promised and what it's been able to deliver or otherwise. How does the president respond to that? Including his home state of Katsina was lost to the major opposition party, the PDP.
Well, what I want to say is that victory and defeat in the elections is an integral part of life. So I think that when you see people are nervous and are running almost crazy because they have lost elections, because they don't think it is possible. But they are an integral part of the process. And beside that, I would have thought that this thing that happened in Katsina and in Lagos in particular is sufficient proof that nobody rigged these elections. Because if anybody was going to rig, assuming President Buhari is a rigger, he would have rigged his own state before he goes onto another state to do so. And so would have the winner of the election, Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, would have rigged the Lagos if the idea was to rig. But there it is, it happened. So it tells you that it was a truly transparent, successful election, and that Nigerians have made their own decision, and that people who lost this election, look, just get ready and allow the people's mandate to stand. Nigerians have spoken.
Indeed. Well, despite the technical challenges we've had, we do appreciate your time so far on the news. Malam Garba Shehu, presidential spokesperson to President Muhammad Buhari. We hope to have you in the studio very soon so we can have a lengthier and better conversation. Malam Garba Shehu, thank you.